I've flown with Easyjet hundreds of times. Normally it's a short flight, so I'm not normally going on a week's holiday. So normally I will just take hand luggage. I've never had any problems. I rarely take luggage with them. I have had lost luggage before, but that's when I've been flying long haul with, and it's been as a connecting flight. This was a direct flight from Manchester to Geneva and Geneva back to Manchester. I handed my luggage in. I watched them put a luggage label on which said GVA, Geneva. How you lose a baggage on a direct flight, I just simply don't know. Now, I mean, my flight ended up being delayed by 2 hours and 40 minutes, which was annoying in the first place. And I don't know if you know how flight compensation works, but if they'd been delayed by 3 hours, they would have had to compensate me for my whole flight plus £220 extra on top compensation for being late. Now, my annoyance starts from the fact that there was nothing wrong with my plane that was going to Geneva, but there was another plane which had a problem, which was an earlier flight. So they gave our plane to the other flight so it could get where it was going within 3 hours so that they didn't have to pay compensation. And then they managed to get our flight, which should have left on time, to Geneva just within 3 hours. So they also didn't have to pay any compensation for the delayed flight. That delayed flight meant I missed all my friends who were flying from London, and my transfer that was paid for from London, I told them to go without me because I presumed Easyjet would cover the onward travel for missing that transfer, where I can show them a receipt. I had a transfer for this. It didn't wait around. I had to then pay this. But it turns out because it was within 3 hours, I wasn't entitled to anything. But fine, that's nothing to do with this claim. But that's just where you start to get a little bit annoyed. Like, that plane was supposed to leave on time, but you gave it to another flight. So you end up having 2 delayed flights, but you keep them both within 3 hours so that you don't pay out the compensation. I would have quite happily, I'd have rather waited 5 hours, but got the compensation than arrive 2 hours, 40 minutes late, having missed my transfer and be entitled to nothing. No problem. I'm 2 hours, 40 minutes late. All my friends have gone. I've got to sort out my own transfer. EasyJet said they're not doing anything. Fine. I go to baggage reclaim to get my luggage. How long do you wait? Like, you don't know how long to wait for a bag, especially because it was an oversized bag, because it was a ski bag. So I waited and watched everyone from off my flight picking up their ski bags. Then I went over to the carousel, knowing that my bag shouldn't have come out of the carousel, but as the flight from Manchester finished, yeah, it has finished. Okay, let's go back over and just double check all the bags, the ski bags again. This is like now 2 hours later after I've been delayed 2 hours, 40 minutes. Bearing in mind, I was supposed to get to my hotel at like 12 o'clock and I paid extra for an early flight. So I was there. I don't usually stay in 5-star hotels, but it was a friend's 40th and she booked a 5-star hotel. We were never going to ski that day, but it had a swimming pool, a spa, a sauna. I'm now stuck in Geneva getting pictures from my friends who are all drinking cocktails and sitting by the pool and having saunas and spas and swimming and going out and going up travel cars, pictures, doing all sorts that you can do in the resort and having a really nice time. I'm running around Geneva looking for lost baggage, knowing that I don't even have a transfer booked to where I'm going, and that I can't even deal with that until I've dealt with my luggage. After like 3 hours, eventually they say everything from Manchester is off the flight and gone, and if your bag isn't there, then yeah, you're just going to have to forget about it. Bearing in mind it's a ski trip, so in my bag, I've paid for sports equipment, but in my bag is my snowboard boots, my gloves, my goggles, my hat. Plus, like I said, I don't usually stay in 5-star hotels or go out, so I had to take all my nice clothes. So it wasn't like shorts and t-shirt. It was like Ralph Lauren jumpers and Tommy Hilfiger jeans and Gant like trousers, like all my nice clothes, because I knew we'd be going out for dinner every night and we were staying in a 5-star hotel. So I wanted to dress the part. So all of my nice clothes are in this bag, along with my snowboard and my snowboard gear. After 3 hours of like looking for it and asking people at Geneva what I do. Eventually they say it's lost, and they gave me a baggage claim number, but they don't do anything for you to help at the airport. Again, I've lost luggage before with a much better airline, and they fill out all the forms for you at the airport, and they make sure it's done right, and it's not an online form, like it's all done in person. And you know that you've spoken to a person, that the form's all done correctly. They don't just leave you to your own devices. So I had to leave the baggage reclaim. We're now talking, I was 2.5 hours late, and I probably spent 3 hours looking for my luggage. So you're talking like 6 hours after I was supposed to arrive. I now leave the baggage hall, and all I have is a reference number and like a link to where I go and fill a lost baggage reclaim on form. My phone's dead at this point. The charger and the adapter are in my bag. So the first thing I have to do before I can do anything is buy a charger and an adapter so that I can charge my phone to do the online report and to book a transfer. The only place I can buy it is Geneva Airport, which is probably the most expensive place in the entire world. It cost me £50 for an iPhone charger, which should cost £10. And this was literally just so that I could charge my phone to tell my friends I was okay and that I'd be getting the next transfer, but I had to like fill in these forms with Easyjet, and I was going to do that while having a beer at the airports, because then once I got there, I could relax knowing that I'd actually done the forms, rather than seeing them at the hotel and then being like, come on, forget about it, we've got to go. I know what's going to happen when I get there, so I need to deal with this now. So obviously I sat in a cafe and did the online forms, and I spoke to, and I phoned up the travel insurance person. This is where it starts to just go really wrong. I phoned up the travel insurance and was like, look, my bag's lost, but I'm on a ski trip. I've already missed my transfer, so can I claim for my transfer? And so they start looking into the delayed thing. But because it wasn't 3 hours, no, you're not entitled to any onward transport because the delay wasn't 3 hours. Okay, cool. I've already run through that. Fine, I'll have to get my own transfer. What is it I'm entitled to buy while I'm in resort? And at this point, they start to tell me that I'm only entitled to €300 for 5 days, because for 5 days, it is not lost luggage. It's only delayed luggage. Now, this was a 5-day ski trip. So at no point during the ski trip was I ever going to be able to be entitled to more than €300. But I had to rent ski equipment. And I said to her, I was like, what do you mean I've only got €300? That's probably only going to cover the cost of the ski hire. What about my hat, my gloves, my clothes, everything else? And she was like, sir, we will look into whether this is lost luggage or whether this is delayed luggage after 5 days. But until all I can do is tell you what you're entitled to while it is delayed baggage. And that is up to €300 for essential items, absolutely zero more. So I was like, that's an absolute joke. And at this point, I was like, I can't believe I've used Easyjet travel insurance. Like, I will never, ever do that again. In my subsequent conversations I've turned out with them, I've had today, but this is while I'm back in the UK. It turns out she gave me totally the wrong information. I was entitled to £300. So I keep saying euros, but pounds worth of compensation for essential items. But because it was a ski bag, I was entitled to €200 to cover the ski hire. Now, the ski hire was €200, like €198 exactly. So that would have been bang on. But the lady I spoke to while I was on the holiday told me I only had $300 total for essential items while it was a delayed bag, without telling me about the fact that the ski trip, the ski bag part of it, entitled me to hire of the ski hire. So that meant I knew that the ski hire was $200, so I thought I only had $100 for essential items. So all I did was buy a jumper and some gloves, which basically meant I spent the whole ski holiday in a 5-star hotel wearing tracksuit bottoms that I travelled in, going to restaurants. Luckily, my friends understood and cared, so they lent me boxer shorts and socks. I then phoned up the travel insurance today, being like, the bag's still missing. Like, I'm now back home. I don't have the bag. They don't know where it is, but it's gone from delayed luggage to lost luggage. But now it's lost luggage. They can't finalize the claim until it's declared lost luggage. But they can't do that until it's 45 days. So now I'm in a no man's land where I've claimed all that I could have claimed, but I didn't, because I've only got 300's worth of receipts, 200 of which were for the ski hire. But having spoke to someone today, I could have had 200 for ski hire plus 300 for essential items. So I said, well, look, fine, my bag's still not here. I need clothes for a meeting tomorrow. So can I go and spend the extra 150 that I would have or 100 that I would have for essential items for the clothes now? And travel insurance said, no, you're back in the UK. We don't cover you for anything back in the UK. I was like, but my lost bag that you lost is still not with me. I lost that on the flight, which I told you about during the dates of my travel insurance. It's still not back. The item's still not on here. I was given wrong information by your customer service representative, for which I've requested the call, and I've requested that the call be sent to their manager, because I was like, I wouldn't be half as angry if I clearly said to the girl, how is 300 euros supposed to help me when the ski hire is going to be 200? And she went, sir, for 5 days you only have 300. It doesn't matter. Like, if you think the ski hire is essential, that's what you have to get. But like, so she just totally gave me the wrong information. And today, so I was like, okay, so I have 200 for ski hire and I had 300 for essential items. That's fine. I didn't spend 300 on essential items because my friends were super generous with like toothpaste and hair wax and aftershave and like a different jumper and boxer shorts and socks. Like all the essential items I essentially managed to borrow when I shouldn't have had to. And it was embarrassing. I was like, okay, fine. I was given the wrong information. My bag's still not back. I've got a meeting tomorrow. I need to go buy some nice trousers. No, you're not entitled to it now because you're back. Well, you gave me the wrong information when I was on holiday and I could have spent the money, and the bag's still not back. So as far as I'm concerned, something that was lost during that travel insurance claim, I should still be able to claim for the lost items because it's not been returned. The answer is no. If I go and spend something in England, I can't be sure that they're going to give me any money for anything. Yeah, I have a business meeting tomorrow and I packed all of my nice clothes into a bag because I was going to and staying at a 5-star hotel. The bag's still lost. They don't know where it is. But they won't confirm it as a lost bag for 45 days. So between now and 45 days, I'm not entitled to any more money for anything to replace anything that is in that bag, even though there's like £3,000 worth of stuff in it. Still don't know where it is. and they're saying until 45 days, it's not classified as a lost item. That's when we'll close your case. Until then, if you have spent the 200 on your ski kit and the 300 on essential items, that's all you can claim. And I'm like, I've spent the 200 on the ski kit, but I didn't spend the 300 on essential items because I was told that the ski hire was included in essential items. So they were like, did you not read your policy? I said, well, I phoned up. I was on a phone and I phoned up a customer care representative to be given the information that was required, because reading a policy that's that long on your phone isn't there. I've now read the policy. It doesn't say anything about the winter sports. And the guy, I said, you have to show me how on the Easyjet website, show me where it says that that's all you get. It doesn't. They then send you a link which says this is our terms and conditions. So there's nowhere before you travel that you can see the terms and conditions of what happens if they lose your baggage. They send it to you in a link once you've lost your baggage and say that you signed up to that. That is not true. I could show you now where they took me on the baggage reclaim. It says nowhere that nowhere about like this different amount for ski, like for your skis compared to the essential items. So obviously I was getting angry at this point. And I said, well, look, okay, fine. It is what it is. I bought crap travel insurance. I'll never buy it again. I won't ever just click on the cheap option for travel insurance. I will do what I've done before and buy good travel insurance where when you lose something, they go, absolutely, sir, you go and replace what you need and we will give you the money back once we've clarified that the airline did actually lose your luggage. So I'm never buying cheap travel insurance again. So I then said, well, look, okay, fine. I paid you of my costs of £280, whatever. I paid you £84 of that was for transport of my ski bag to Geneva and transport of it back again. Now, you lost it on the way to Geneva, and on the way back, I didn't even have it. And we've clarified that. You know that. There's an online baggage claim going on about it. So at the very least, can you just refund me for the £84 that I paid for the transport of my bag that you lost? And the answer was no. the answer was no. We can't refund you for that. They said the answer for no is we can't refund you for that because what if your bag is returned tomorrow? I said, what do you mean if my bag's returned tomorrow? You didn't deliver it where it was supposed to be delivered to, and it didn't come back with me on the flight it was supposed to come back to. So if you get me back my bag back tomorrow, you still owe me a refund for the money that I paid for the baggage to be transported with me on the flights that I was on or delivered to my hotel, of which neither has happened. So why can you not at this point realize that I've paid for something that didn't happen and refund me just for that service, not asking for any compensation, just asking for you to refund me now without waiting 45 days for the money for the transport of my bag from one place to the other and then back again, which didn't happen. And I have to wait 45 days for them to even do that, to evaluate if that should be part of my claim. Crazy.